Okay, so now that we've been talking about frame of interpretation, you get your interpretations, you get them as just intuition at the level of consciousness, at the more zoomed out level, your level, you're talking with someone, you just have the intuition. You just come from the principle that she thinks you're stupid. She's awkward. You're making her feel awkward. You just accept it as true. It's just something you don't even think about it. It's like, yeah, there is the floor here, but I don't even think about it. Just, it's taken care by the lower level, and me at the level of consciousness, I just have to take care of the higher level. All the constraints, the creative constraints, I don't have to be conscious of them. Yeah, I'm just making her feel awkward. That's assumed. Now what am I doing with it? What we're going to do is that those informations, and that you just have the intuition about them, we're going to make an analogy of those with the piano. Let's take two different interpretations. We don't know what they are. Okay, let's make an example. For example, the first one is she's interested, and the second one is she's not interested. A very basic medium level interpretation, not very sophisticated as what we could have seen before, which can be more sophisticated. Very basic level interpretation. We have those two interpretations. Let's instead of representing them the way they are represented in your mind, for example, as a feeling or a kind of nuance in the pictures that you have in your mind of the interaction, let's picture them as sound. For example, the interpretation that she's interested, it will be this. And the interpretation that she's not, it will be this. Okay, do you see the difference? Very basic music thing. This is called a chord. This is a chord of C, the C note. And around I do a major chord. And there is the other chord, this one, around the same note. This was C, this is the same basic note, and around I put the chord. So this is the happy chord. And here, this is the sad chord around the same note. Same note, the chord around. And the note C, let's say that it's what happened objectively before the interpretations. For example, let's say you approach a woman and she says, I'm sorry, I have to go. That's what happened. There is no interpretation around. There is just raw information. She says, I'm sorry, I just have to go home. Okay, this is what happens. Now you put interpretations around. And from those interpretations, you will draw the meaning. From the first creative field of she's interested. That's what you hear at the level of your mind. She says, I have to go home. What does it mean? It means this. It means she would love to talk with me, but she has to go somewhere. Or if you have the other frame of interpretation, there is the same situation happening. This is the same situation happening. But then you have other frame of interpretations. Okay, so she's just not attracted. I just bothered her. I did something wrong by approaching her. So same situation, and you hear. And remember, what is it that generates happiness or suffering? This is about the elements in the mind. This is what happens, the neutral element. And then there is the elements of the mind, which are either positive or negative, or more or less. So this is the neutral one from the outside. Neutral. Yeah, I have to go home. Means nothing. Neutral. Just, you see her face, you hear her voice, nothing. And then you have the mind element, the imaginary element, which is the understanding, the meaning. And from this, you draw happiness or suffering. And so if you hear this, if you interpret this way, if this is the thought that comes in your head after this, first you have the neutral element that happened. And then the thought, it goes very fast, it is subliminal. And if this is the thought that you get, then if you have too much of them, suffering, you suffer. You just suffer. You don't like the experience. Same neutral event. Yeah, I'm sorry, I have to go home. But you get this thought. Ah, she loves me, but she's sad because she can't talk with me because she has a constraint. This is a pretty good thought. If you have a lot of them, one after the other, you're happy. Damn, I have many good thoughts in my head, positive. I'm so happy. Yeah, this woman, she loved me. It had too bad she had to go home. She loved me. Feels good. Feels amazing. Interpretations. So now, let's say that she says, yeah, I'm sorry, I have to go home. And you hear this. Oh, damn, I did something wrong. She doesn't like me. So now you have to answer. Let's say that you answer the same thing in both situations. So in this situation, oh shit, she doesn't like me, I did something wrong. Let's say you say, I'm really sorry, I didn't mean to bother you. For example, you say this. It would be this note. Okay. This is the neutral event. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bother you. This is your reaction. What is the interpretation you have? What is the meaning behind this that you're saying? Yeah, still sad, yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bother you. One more negative element in your mind, one more negative imaginary element, one more negative thought. There's a beginning of suffering here, you can feel it. And then she answers, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just going to go. So, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm just going to go. And how do you hear it? It means, yeah, bro, you look desperate. I just feel bad for you, man. Have a good day. That's what you hear. Yeah, I'm sorry, I just have to go. That's what you hear in your mind. One more negative element with a negative judgment around. You start to suffer so much. It feels so bad, this experience. I just want it to end. And you're like, yeah, okay, have a good day. So you answer, yeah. So you have a sequence like this in your mind that happens. This is so sad. You're depressed after this. You're depressed. I'm sorry, I have to go home. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bother you. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just going to go home. Yeah, sorry, have a good day. You're depressed after this, you suffer so much, you have so much negative elements in your mind. Now, let's say you have the other interpretation. She loves me. I'm sorry, I have to go home. She loves me, but she has to go home. That's a constraint. That's what you hear. Then you answer, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bother you. But what do you mean by this? I mean, you're just being gentle, you're just being romantic. Like in the movies, like, yeah, I didn't mean to bother you. In a very gentle way. Not in a afraid way, not in a way that means that you just feel like a piece of shit, but in a way that you're just being gentle. I didn't mean to bother you. Gentle way. And she's like, yeah, I'm sorry, I will just go. You still hear it like, yeah, she really has to go. Sorry, have a good day. It was still a good story. It was still good. We had good emotions. She will have a good day now. You come out of this sequence. You feel amazing. You feel very happy. You had only positive elements in your mind. The first one you had only negative. You suffer. Same neutral scenario, completely different interpretation. And remember, once again, the way you interpreted the situation will tend to generate it to be true for the other person as well. The woman, in the first case, she lived with the bad feeling as well. She's like, He really didn't feel good. It was awkward. In the second situation, she's like, damn, that was kind of funny. This guy is funny. He doesn't give a shit. She feels good as well. Now, let's make it more straightforward. We want to keep going. So she's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I have to go. I feel depressed. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bother you. Yeah, I'm sorry as well, I will just go home. Now you're thinking, okay, well, I have to be a bit persistent because I want to get better at attracting women, so I have to develop some of my fighter vibe, which is about not giving a shit about the negative. So, you know what, let's just push it. We never know. So, yeah, in this case, I can walk with you if you want. But you're like, yeah, she's going to say no, I just say it because I have to persist. And at this point, she doesn't feel good. There is some suffering here. She knows what you interpret. We talked about it before, the meta interpretation. She will interpret things depending on how you interpret. The way you interpret, she will see it, and thus it will give her information about your reality. And thus from here, she can interpret what's going to happen later from those meta interpretation. Now she sees what's going on. She's like, yeah, I can picture what's going to happen. He will walk with me, ask some dumb questions. It's going to feel awkward. I'm going to have negative emotions. He's not going to escalate at all. I will not get sexual arousal because first, he's not going to do it in a way that creates arousal, and he's not even going to do it at all because she's way too afraid. He's not being creative because he has a low level moments of consciousness because he's suffering. People understand all of this subconsciously, what we've been talking about. So you say, yeah, maybe I can walk with you then? And she would be like, yeah, no, I'm sorry, I'm just going to go home. And she will leave. Other case scenario. I'm sorry, I have to go home. Oh, damn, she loves me, but she has to go home. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bother you. She sees your interpretation, she sees in the subcommunication, she sees. This is social intelligence. Even if you say the same thing, she knows how you interpret. So you're like, yeah, I didn't mean to bother you. And then she's like, oh, he's actually very gentle. You're being playful when you're doing it. You're being proactive toward happiness. You're in a positive creative field, but she's still a bit nervous. She's not really in the mood. So she's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I just have to go. But here she's still like, she has to go, but she intuits that interacting with you would contain some form of happiness. Just she's in her thing, she has to go, so the cost of opportunity might be a bit too high. So she's like, yeah, I have to go. Then you're like, okay, so in this case, I can walk with you. Remember, before it was this. I can walk with you now. Yeah, in this case, I can walk with you. Yeah, we found a solution. At that point, she's like, well, actually, if I try to predict how it's going to be, he's going to not take himself seriously. It's going to be interesting, fun, happy. He sounds playful, so he's not afraid to be man to woman. He might escalate as well, maybe in a good way. Depends on what you've shown in your behavior. If you've applied correctly what we've talked about before. You know what? My problem actually is just that I have to go somewhere. But I mean, sounds like this walk is going to be. There is going to be some form of happiness inside. So I don't have to compromise my cost of opportunity because I don't lose time. Yeah, walk with me. And now she answers, walk with me. In this good way. Yeah, let's do it. The same sequence. She said the same thing, you said the same thing. But because you interpreted everything from one frame of interpretation, which is that she's interested, which is generated by other frames of interpretation, and we're going to work on those levels as well to have there is like different levels of frames. There is the little ones that are very strategic, that are going to help you to at the end have the frame that she's interested, that she wants you to escalate, blah blah blah. And those one at the end, they are the one that really helps you to actually attract her. And in this case, because you interpret everything through this frame, you just say the same thing. I didn't mean to bother you. In the first case, it looks pathetic. In the second case, it's very gentle, it's very romantic, it's very caring. Like, I care about you. It's very caring. Because of this, at the end, everything happens as planned. The first one, she's like, no, I will go home. Yeah, she was just not interested. Second one, yeah, you know what, walk with me. Yeah, she was interested from the start, of course. Of course, that's what she said. She said, I'm sorry, I have to go home. She didn't say, I don't want. She said, I have to go home. She clearly said that the reason why she can stay is because she has to go home. She clearly said it, so she clearly said that she would actually like to talk with me. The second one is like, yeah, she clearly gave an excuse. It clearly means I saw in her behaviors, she looked a bit sad. I saw that she just doesn't like the experience. The second one, which is more happy, is like, yeah, she had this behavior of being a bit sad in the tonality because she didn't want to make me feel sad because she actually liked me, she cared about me, and she was sad herself because she can't talk with me and she would like to. We can justify as we want, we can prove as we want. At the end of the day, everything is false anyway. Reality is just a big illusion, just interpretations everywhere. It's emptiness, remember, it's empty. Emptiness which at larger scales create the impression that there is something, but there is just emptiness. Anyway, so yeah, let's be smart and use the interpretations that get us where we want. That's the only thing to do, actually. That's the only thing that we can do. That is smart to do. To know that we have false belief. To know that this is false. But to still keep them because they are smart and this is smart beliefs. And when we will find beliefs that are more efficient, then we change. We're not attached to the previous beliefs. We know they are wrong the whole time. But we know how reality works and we know that if we have them, it's going to help us. So we apply them. And we will see after how to apply them. Because now you're thinking, yeah, but I don't believe it, so it's not going to work. No. We're going to show a way to make this work. Don't worry. Mathematics, brother, we can do everything. Nuclear bomb. Everything is possible. So now, let's go back to the concept of frame control. If you've been watching other content from other coaches, you might have seen this concept of frame control, that you have to set right frames. For example, the prizing frame, which is the interpretation that you are above her, that she is the one that is chasing you. This is a frame of interpretation you want to set. And once again, this is self-fulfilling. This is self-fulfilling. If she does something which is not chasing you actually, for example, you approach the woman. She does, come on, you are chasing. That's what's happening here. You're not chasing, but that's the interpretation that she puts. Once again, every interpretation is just an interpretation. Her interpretations is not more legit than yours. Just about who has the more power. That's how reality works. And in this regard, we are very lucky that powers merges with compassion and being nice, because otherwise we would get fucked. And now you want to set the interpretation that she's chasing. So for example, basically the same process works. If you've been building momentum in your head of interaction where women are chasing you, you have this momentum which makes that everything that happens, your mind at first, before everything, will send you a subliminal thoughts about how to answer through this creative field. So even if then you get snapped out of this creative field and you lose the access to it and you're like, oh yeah, she hates me, you still have some subliminal thoughts from the previous creative field that you got momentum from that comes. And even if you don't believe it anymore, you still logically see them. Oh, I don't believe it's true, but I know that I would have reacted this way if I believed it to be true. So actually, you know what? Let's act this way, because actually you will notice that every time you have an idea in your mind that comes about how you would act if you believed something different, because of self-fulfilling prophecy, almost any time you will feel like you can actually do it. Because you know that if you do it, everything will act in accordance because of this self-fulfilling prophecy. So even if you're snapped out of this belief, you're like, oh shit, she's not chasing me, she hates me. But now because you had the momentum, logically you get this feeling of, oh, but if I believed it to be true, I would behave this way. So now you're like, oh, actually, now I have to face this belief that she hates me. But I have the logical knowledge of what I would do if I believed she was chasing me. And you will be able to predict, this will be intuitive, you will predict that actually if I do this reaction, if I force myself to do this reaction, I force myself to do it. I feel that I can predict that it will help me to generate this reality. And so you will not be afraid to do it, because you know it will be coherent. So you're like, yeah, actually I have choice between staying here or going back here. Here feels way better. I will act this way, boom, and you will act and do the frame control. And so now you will have the answer that came by itself. For example, it would be, I don't know, maybe just a smile, a very compassionate smile, and just keep going. Maybe it's very counterintuitive. Your approach, you're like, hey, excuse me. She understands what's going on. She's like, because she knows what's going on. And you are in this creative field with the constraint, the interpretation, the frame of interpretation, which is that she will chase you and she wants to chase you. She loves you, she likes you. Through this interpretation, even if you now think, wow, she hates me, you're like, oh, if I was still in the previous creative field, I would think that she does this because she doesn't trust me, she's a bit intimidated, some men in the past have been mean with her and now she is defensive. I would think this, and in this case, you have all of this combined in a picture, right? You get this instantly, all in the picture. You get all the informations. I'm just slicing it for you in the video, but in the action, boom, it will happen instantly. You will have the information. So it happens very fast. And so you will be like, yeah, and in this case, now you will have the picture, the movie in your head of what you will do, and you will see yourself reacting the way you would react in this case. For example, you will make a gentle smile and say, you really look amazing today. For example, you will say something like this, which is in alignment with your belief that you have in this creative field. Now she sees this. The same, remember. And you answer with a smile and, you really look amazing today. And she's like, she hears that it's not in accordance. She hears that you're in another creative field. But the fact that you have another interpretation itself gives informations. Moreover than the fact that you're just being nice and you're being in a smooth mood, all those positive things that are there. Upon them, there is this meta-information, this meta-interpretation. What the hell? He's interpreting things in this way? That's how he interprets this? So now she has a lot of information. This guy is going to not take himself seriously. He's going to be nice. He can escalate. He's very alpha because he doesn't see the negative. This is tricky because if you don't see the negative, but in the expense of social intelligence, because she thinks, yeah, he didn't see because he has no social intelligence. Now it has the opposite effect. You need both. You need to see it, but be able to react otherwise. This is the next level. That's what she has to see. Oh, he kind of gets the situation, but he chooses to stay in a way more interesting creative field. Intuitively, she understands this way. Now you look very powerful, very alpha. So she's like, and moreover, it creates fun. Remember, opposite realities that merge together. That's like a foundation to create fun. So at the same time, it creates this lightness, this fun. Things are not, two realities are existing together. I react in a reality, he reacts in another reality, I react in my reality, he reacts in his reality. Create some fun. So that's actually something that is fun. If you are being nice and you have no ego at the same time. And even more if you're having fun in your vibe. Right, so now you get her back. She's like, well, thank you. Now she's nice. She's like, well, thank you. Yeah, what are you doing right now? And she's like, I'm waiting for a friend. And she's like, what the fuck is going on? This guy looks actually interesting. And you get her back just because of your interpretations. In the other case, look, you interpret the other way. She sees that you interpret this way because of your reaction. You say the same thing. So she's like, you look amazing today. But it sounds pathetic. Shut the fuck up, man. I look amazing. You know how many guys say me that? Shut the fuck up, go away. Two different situations. Self-fulfilling prophecy. The first one, yeah, she's extremely mean. The second one, oh, she's a nice little girl. She's cute. She thought I was going to be bad with her. So, of course, she was afraid. She was defensive. Like, one more guy that's going to be mean with me. You have this interpretation. And yeah, everything... I've been nice with her, I reassured her, and I showed I was nice, and now she was nice as well, because she's always been nice. Her reaction, was not mean, it was nice actually. Everything happens in accordance. Let's talk about those creative fields. Why do you want to create momentum? Look, I'm going to do something. What are you expecting? What is the next call that you're expecting now? Try to hear it in your head before I do it. I will do the beginning again. What are you hearing? You were expecting this, right? So you actually had the answer in your head. Oh, if Alex was playing in the happy way, then this note was going to have this chord around. You can predict it. This is the same with the woman. This is the same with the interaction. Oh, if she said it in this way, because this is the way you interpret it, then the next thing that happens, how I have to react to it, no matter what I'm going to say, and here is the point, no matter how I'm going to say, the meaning I will have, now I can predict it. This is why you have the freedom, because you see that no matter what you answer, you will find a way to give it the appropriate meaning. It will come naturally in your head. And from this meaning around what you say, she will get drawn into it because of the self-fulfilling prophecy. Reality works in this way. And then you had a new positive. So then she answers. And how do you interpret this? What are you waiting for now? What are you predicting? Yeah, it's coming into your head by itself because you have the momentum. It's coming by itself. The mind produces more of the same. The mind creates pattern of predictions. And he sticks to it. Now, hear the same. What are you hearing? You're hearing this. I think you get the point. So actually, what happens? And here is where everybody gets fucked up with this thing of frame control. They see this thing about self-fulfilling prophecy. So they try to use this as a technique. Like, I'm going to make her believe that I see it this way, or at least I'm going to proactively set the frame that I want. I'm going to proactively do it. The frame of interpretation, so it creates the self-fulfilling prophecy. But here is the problem when you do this. She says something. You interpret it this way. And then you want to answer her in a way that makes her believe that you interpret it this way. That's what you want to do. She said it this way, and you want to answer her in a way that makes her think that you understood it this way, in the nice way. So now you have to act in accordance to this first interpretation. That's what comes into your mind. Look. Can you find the way you would react if you had heard the positive one? I can't hear it. And that's not what I was expecting. It was hard to find it. It was hard. I can do it on the piano because I have studied. I'm a beginner, but I have studied how to make the different chords logically. So if I don't know what's coming, I just play it and it comes out the right way. That's basically what people are trying to do. They are trying to do frame control, not by just hearing the right thing and so the rest comes by itself, but by hearing the wrong thing and knowing how to fix it logically. First, it's problematic because if you hear this, you still hear it. You still have a bit of negative thought that come, and that's going to hinder you. We want happiness, and if you hear it more than you hear this, if you can't hear this for real that much, it's complicated to generate happiness in you. But at the same time, the problem is that because of this, because it's hard, now you have to answer in a way that makes her think that you heard this instead of this. You will not feel free to answer anything because there is certain type of verbal answer and non-verbal behavior that tend, in terms of probability and in terms of norms, to be more likely to have certain meaning than other, right? For example, the woman, she's like, and you say, I want you to know that you're looking amazing today. Or the woman who says, I'm sorry, I have to go home, and you say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bother you. This is way more likely, if you just look at the verbal, this is way more likely to be in a negative interpretation, to mean that you have interpreted. It's way more likely to look a bit pathetic. And so now you will have the problem of finding the right things to say. Now you have this problem because it is linked to your ability to control the interpretations, to control the things that are generating the results. In order to control the results, now you have to control what you say, because this will help you to find ways to give this impression that the frames are in your favor to get what you want. And here, now you get very limited. Whereas, if you really are perceiving those frames for real, now actually, no matter what you will say, I'm sorry, I have to go home. Ah, damn, I'm really a piece of shit. She's like, what? He's saying this in order to laugh? What the hell? No matter what you will say, she will get the frame to an extent, and we'll talk about it later. This is why every time a man, no matter who it is, every time a man makes this challenge of walking up to a woman, approaching a woman, with the goal of getting rejected the hardest possible. This is why it never works. They never get rejected. Hey, excuse me, you look amazing. You try to say it in a way that is repulsive. You look amazing in a shy way, for example, so that she gets repulsed, because that's what happened in normal case. So you try to make her believe that you have frames that are negatives, or you try to make her believe that you are repulsive. So you try to make her believe this. Hey, you look very good, in a very pussy way, in a very beta way. But she doesn't hear it. She first hears this. And then she sees that you're trying to make it look like this. But she heard it. She saw social intelligence. You're acting like a pussy, and she hears this behind. He's acting like a pussy, but I feel that there is an attractive reason behind. There is something positive behind. There is happiness behind. Then she gets what you tried to convey, but she's like, no, I heard this first. I first heard this. And so now what happened? First it gives the information, remember? But more than that, it gives her the positive momentum. So then she's more like, because of all of those, she will answer and she will be like, okay, thank you. And she's into you. And you're like, okay, shit, I have to go harder. Yeah, I just became homeless, I lost my job. My life is really not good, actually. But she hears this. She hears so much positive things. Because actually, I didn't precise why, but this is because you are in this mindset. Then you don't care about the negative, so you have the fighter vibe. Because as well, you are proactively going against your ego. Now you have this free state where you just have fun about it, even if you don't show it. So now, because you don't have the negative element and you have this kind of amusement, now just have very high level moments of consciousness, creativity. So actually you're very alpha in this moment. You're very alpha when you're doing this. Moreover, you have no ego, so in terms of her ego, it feels extremely good as well. In terms of fun and of just being in the high consciousness state as well, social things, much value. You're a fucking huge happiness container in this moment. So you're like, yeah, my life is horrible actually. But she hears this, she loves it. She loves what she hears. She loves the things that come to her mind. Oh, really? What happened? Tell me. And you're like, fuck, you're not supposed to want to know. You're supposed to walk away. Hey, listen, I'm really not a guy for you. I'm a piece of shit. I'm really bad. You really should reject me. She didn't hear this. She heard this. She's like, no, I don't want to reject you. No, you look nice, really. No, I'm sure you had a pretty good job back in the days. What was your job? What happened? So she's like, and you're like, what the hell? Fucking reject me. Why don't you reject me? Because you're bringing to her so much happiness, despite you. Because you're in the alpha state, you yourself are bringing happiness to yourself because you're just, you are feeling happy when you're doing this. You're feeling great. You don't care about your ego. You're in a sort of creative state because you don't have your ego to hinder your creativity anymore. So she gets so much happiness from the interaction, and you want to get rejected, but you can't get rejected. You just can't. You're like, fucking, because now she sees that you're trying to get rejected. Now remember this prizing frame. She kind of feels it. Then why does he want to engage with me? And now she starts to fight back for the ego. Remember, when you look like above in the interaction, when it looks like she's chasing you, she will actually chase you in order to make you chase back, to be able to be like, yeah, I'm on the pedestal. But this time, because you have no ego when you do it, you don't do it from a place of ego. You do it for another reason. And so it's even more powerful because now she sees this dynamic, which make her want to make you chase. So she chases you to make you chase. But at the same time, her ego is not in line. She has the feeling that this dynamic is here, but for another reason than the ego, which first makes it even more interesting, but secondly makes it even more fun for her to now come back to you. And she feels like even if she chases you, you have no ego, so you're not going to be like, yeah, she's chasing me. So she's okay with chasing you. So there is this self-fulfilling prophecy here. in this case, it's not really self-fulfilling prophecy because you were expecting her to reject you. So this is a different case scenario than self-fulfilling prophecy. And this is where we get back to this notion of yin and yang that we've been talking about in reality. Well, even when we go to very high level concepts like self-fulfilling prophecy, yin and yang is present everywhere, motherfucker. It's present everywhere at every level of reality. So yeah, there is also the opposite of self-fulfilling prophecy. This is the fact of wanting something, wanting a result. So you go for the opposite. And thus you get the result you wanted. That's the opposite of self-fulfilling prophecy. This is the yin and yang of self-fulfilling prophecy. And as everything, you have to find balance and know when to use one, when to use the other. It's like the infinite symbol. When to use one, when to use the other, and you juggle between them. Like this. But this is why you can't get rejected. You can, but you get the point. It's very hard. It's very funny. This situation. Yeah, I don't give a shit about if you reject me. That's what she hears. Here is, if you reject me, I care. Heaviness. If you reject me, I don't care. That's what she hears. Yeah, I'm a piece of shit. I don't care if you reject me. That's what she hears. And this feels good. It brings all the things we talked about. Moreover, it brings like this, why doesn't he cares? Sexual preselection, once again. Do you see where we're going? We will merge all of this together. Self-fulfilling prophecy, the opposite, all those creative constraints. We will find a way to merge all of this together. Damn. So now we're going to talk about the next thing that came in the pickup community. This thing called state. Yeah, being state. What is the thing? If you've been in the pickup community, if you've seen other products of other channels, you know this thing, the state, yeah. At some point, it was all about state. Just get in state and everything works. Just as we talked about. Get in the right state and then just approach and it works. Well, that's not enough. That's not enough. And it's very limiting because then you get dependent over this. Next video, we will extend this definition. State, what is state? Let's extend the definition so we make it more flexible. And let's integrate this within a bigger framework of inner management so that you don't rely on this. You can benefit from it without being dependent over it. And then we merge all of this back to the Triforce. And then boom, you have everything and you're ready to just go and crush it easily, effortlessly, what we want.